걱정을 모두 벗어버리고 Smile, smile, smile 장미꽃처럼 반짝 웃어요 세상은 즐거워 어쩌면 무엇에 좋은 노래 하자 걱정을 모두 벗어버리고서 Smile, smile
If anything, this project was more about bringing together a very diverse group of people, many of which are members of the Bus Riders Union, and trying to create one theater piece together.
I think even when I was young, I always had like this sense of like despair over like the current conditions and like didn't know what to do with it. And so what feeds me and makes me happy and feel fulfilled and feel like this life is worthwhile is by like being part of a collective effort to make this place a better world for everybody.
I guess growing up, I've always somehow been environmentally conscious. I don't know how that always started, but I guess maybe that just comes with being like raised in an immigrant family where you don't have a lot. So my family is always like, you know, saving plastic bags and reusing plastic bags and reusing plastic bottles.
The whole thing about environmental justice when we talk about food is like the access to, you know, the lack of access to healthy foods.
And a lot of what this show looks like is people just sharing stories from their neighborhoods and their environment. I think a lot of memories came up for some people, especially after the Toxic Tour. There were a few people who remember getting nosebleeds, living near factories and things like that. And I feel like it's important to have these memories and to share them and to not just silently accept, oh, I live here and I get nosebleeds and that's my fate. I think it was great for the audience to hear these stories. And it's not that the audience has completely different experiences either. They experience it too.
Visited my grandmama's house in Glendora, Mississippi. Back then, those times we were rolling tires and playing hopscotch in the dirt, building mud pies. All kinds of people died for all kinds of reasons back then. The stories Grandma told me used to give me chills.
The environmental justice group really helped me step out of my shell and organize in a different manner. Rather than talking, I use my body and expressions as a tool for reaching more people in a different way.
In the BRU, I'm like specifically part of the Clean Air, Clean Lungs, Clean Buses campaign, which is our environmental justice campaign. And so like I'm all about like different forms of learning, and so I wanted to look at how theater could be used to look at environmental justice issues. And I think that Christina did an amazing job of facilitating that and really exploring like our own stories and our experiences with EJ.
Eat them right off the tree. And in the old days, there were so many fish and the water was clean.
It's definitely a breakthrough for a theater project like this to be done in 3 languages, and so I felt really grateful to be a part of that process.
Oh, bienvenidos, estimado público, buenas tardes todos aquí presentes. Espero que disfruten nuestra actuación. La obra que nosotros presentamos realmente para mí fue específica e importante. ¿Por qué? Porque es un modo de abrir y darnos cuenta por medio de la obra de la necesidad que tenemos de cambiar a un futuro mucho mejor.
It was really amazing to be in a setting where everybody is forced to, not forced, but I guess everybody has to listen to each other despite, you know, even if we can't understand what language we're speaking to each other. And we have to find ways to work together and create scenes together, and pictures together, environments together.
It was just beautiful to see all these people come together and let all their inhibitions go, you know, regardless of their like background and their language barrier, you know, but we just, in that one moment of time, we just transcended and we just got each other.
I want to act because I want to help humanity.
I'm excited about the opportunity to blend my work as an organizer and my work with the Bus Riders Union, as well as kind of be able to explore a more artistic on-stage performance side, and to try to do that in a context of struggle.
I've also wrote a 2-page script that deals with environmental racism and gentrification.
Now you have two choices to choose from. One that is an important, essential, life-sustaining drink to humans, and one that contributes to obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, a fatty liver, and sunny light hanging from the bottom of your ass.
And I always thought that I was always doing a pretty good job being environmentally conscious, doing, you know, like buying like the SIG, you know, aluminum bottles, you know, not eating, well, reducing my meat consumption, and then it didn't occur to me that, you know, I was just feeding into another form of consumerism, another form of green capitalism, as you will.
Every year, over 1 trillion bags get consumed worldwide.
That means more than 1 million plastic bags are used per minute. But there's no plastic here.
We also went on a toxic tour, which changed my life. I became more aware of my environmental surroundings and how the industrial capitalist zones in Los Angeles really do take for granted the people living around those surrounding areas and completely disregard their existence by polluting the air around them, which is really unfair and should be done something about.
And especially when I go out and organize, I really feel connected to the people that I'm talking to. Honestly, a lot of people ask me, like, do I get paid for this? I told them just with all the smiles I receive every day.
My ideal world?
Do you remember the first week? Yeah, in my ideal world, there wouldn't be capitalism. In my ideal world, it'd be...
There's a guy, Eduardo Galeano, and he said the purpose of utopia is not so that it can be achieved, right? But something to the extent of, you know, to continue to move towards it, that it will always be in the distance moving towards it.
I'm not doing this work under the illusion that everything's going to be perfect someday. We're going to live in some fantasy world. But the idea is that we have no other choice but to strive for a world that's even a little bit better than it is right now, because right now the conditions are unbearable.
Stokely Carmichael, and he was asked a similar question, and he said that, well, you're asking the question wrong. It's not whether we can or can we not, but that we have to. And I also found that response to be very helpful. Is, you know, that it's not will we achieve environmental justice, you know, will we defeat imperialism, but that we have to.
If we don't create environmental justice, we have islands sinking under the ocean right now, and just the rate at which we're like emitting toxics into our air, like, I mean, what choice do we have but to endeavor for a world where we're living in unity with nature and not like against it and in conflict with it?
BRU said something really interesting, that it has to be a revolution that is led by the people most affected by it. That it's not going to be someone at the top deciding, oh, let's fix this. It has to be working class people, people of color, women, deciding, well, we're sick of this and we're going to lead this revolution. We're going to create the change we want to see.
So there would be no police state and there would be restorative justice for everybody.
And that's what theater can be, right? Is this opportunity to create a world that will never, to create a world that we're not used to, that we wouldn't get to see kind of in reality, as we get to present it in front of people and give audiences a moment to maybe imagine that it's possible and permission to believe it's possible.
What do